Hi guys, it's been a long while that I've come onto this TikTok. Oh, I'm even calling it TikTok. This YouTube. So I'm just So I decided to have a live stream today. Just go through a few things, more like a live update. Let me see who is online. Who is online. So, anyways, instead of going ahead to record a full video, then after recording, doing all the editing and taking a bunch of my time doing that, I just decided to, you know what, let's come here and do a live update. So, yeah, here you have it. So I have a few things written down here that I want to go through. Basically, I would be covering living in London, just a general life update. I would also be talking about interesting things such as plans to go back home, plans to probably things around buying a house and settling in the UK here. I would also be going through things like coping abroad. Oh my god, this noise is so much. And this window is closed. But anyways, let me go back to it. So talking about coping abroad, I'll talk about the conversations I've had with some Erasmus scholars and their concerns in general. I'll talk about that also. Their concerns in terms of what to do, how they're coping with their studies, industry, PhDs, and all of that. Then I would also talk about my own self, whether there are plans about like for PhD and yada yada yada. Anyways, that's what I would just be doing. So I didn't just want to record a video and then upload, but yeah, this live updates. So while I'm recording this, if you have any question, just let me know. Otherwise, anytime you come online and you also see this video, you can go ahead to drop your comment. I will try to read it and respond. But yeah, so starting from the first one I mentioned, life updates. Still living in London, so I moved back to London. Like those of you who have been following me, I was staying in Czech Republic, and yeah, Olawale Kolade, yeah, it's been a long while. Yeah, so I was staying in Czech Republic, Prague, working there. Then later I moved to London. That was January last year. And since then, I've been in London. It's been over a year. It's about a year, a couple of months. And to be honest, I don't know whether I'll say I've been living in London or I've been surviving in London, but anyhow it comes across, yeah, so I've been mostly here. I haven't explored a lot, but I have had interesting times with people that I've met here. But as a home girl, honestly, I don't even have strength for some things. My friend called me which day. She's in Cambridge and I'm in London. She's like, hey, I'm on annual leave just like you. And I'm thinking of where to go, what to do, and all of that. I'm like, you were here August last year. No, was it August, June last year? And babe, we didn't go anywhere. So you know that if it is me, if you come here, we're gonna stay inside house throughout. So if you're looking for somewhere to go and enjoy yourself and visit places, probably not here, but you can come here and visit and we can stay inside house, cook food, just enjoy, eat, and all of that. She's like, oh my God. She was bringing up different places where we should visit and all of that. I'm like, I don't know. Then our other group of friends have been planning some other things where we should go visit and all of that. I typically like them planning ahead, and then you tell me, let me prepare myself mentally to be able to go there. But don't just come impromptu and tell me, we should go and visit here and all of that. Two of us are going to stay in that house. You're not going anywhere. Anyways, that's just it. For me, living in London, it's been interesting. Sometimes I go out with my friends. We are currently planning to go somewhere in May. I think third week of May or something like that. But yeah, still in London here. I think yeah, just going to do some extreme kind of sports. Anyways, that's that. Now the next thing, I'm just looking at my book where I wrote down some things. Them. So the next thing here is, like I mentioned, plans of returning home. So to address this, At the time when I moved, oh my god, this chair is making noise. But at the time when I moved abroad, I didn't think I would be staying abroad this long. Um, I didn't think I would be staying abroad this long. I only left like for my masters, so I didn't japa as in japa to go and stay abroad, that kind of something. No, for all I know, like I lived a good life in Nigeria. Um, I did not see shege like premium shege while I was at home. So the plan, I didn't really plan to stay, abroad and all of that. And every day as a Nigerian, I've also talked with some other Africans and all of that. You keep thinking of going back home. You miss the food, you miss the people, and all of that. Um, uh, hmm, it's been, sometimes you even cry. Self, I was talking to someone. They were like, "If you have not cried," me, I'm like, it seems that my own crying is like every day. But um, it's been. I don't know, but I didn't plan to stay this long. But as it stands now, it seems like it's indefinite now. I don't know. But I don't know. I just want to make money as it stands now. It's just money that is on my head. Let me just make that money, and you see, you see whether I'll not run. But anyways, as it stands now, it's just money that I'm looking for. Um, I'd like to, go home once in a while and all of that. Let me not even just talk too much about this one. But anyways, then the next thing I wanted to talk about is, I know there is this like, and I don't want to say, in America they have like American dream. Now, this dream that I want to talk about, I don't know whether I'll call it African dream or British dream, but let me just say that it is, yes, Ola, like it's money. I'm all about money. Yes, I see your comment. But anyways, yeah, so I think, like when Africans move abroad, I know Nigerians largely, like, a lot of them, when they move abroad, they want to buy a house, do this, do that, and all of that. I've always fancied buying, like a house, but as a Nigerian, with the Nigerian idea and all of that, I've always fancied buying a house in cash. It's not like I have the money like in cash, that kind of money, because of course you will see one tiny house like that they'll be calling hundreds of pounds for you, hundreds of thousands of pounds. I don't even know. But anyways, thousands, what am I even saying? But anyways, yeah. I've always fancied that, and to an extent, I had wanted to buy a house, but of course, I don't have that money in cash. And here, they use a lot of mortgage, which it took me time to try to understand what their mortgage and credit system was really like. But for me, the intense desire to buy a house actually came in January last year. I had very bad experience January last year relating to a house, which I never thought I would have had. I had a very sorry, I was just looking at I got an email from something. I'll have a look at it later. So I had a very bad experience related to house, and someone treated me like so bad. And it was from someone that from people that I didn't really expect that they would treat me that bad. It was crazy to the extent that that I did not freeze to death that day is because my ancestors are awake. They're always guiding me. But anyways, it was so bad. The treatment I got in January last year, that was it 27th of January? I can't even remember. Like I felt so bad that when I called home, and I called home, I spoke with my grandma first, and she was so pissed, and she was like, she spoke in her dialect. Let me just say it how she said it, then I will translate it. She was like, "Oh look, wa chugo so no lo, yeah. Oh Lord, just ju chabo blas do wa chugo so. Oh Lord, just na chugo so no lo. Or hemanuji na emere gi kan kuya. Heke bo nekum." So, anyways, let me translate. She was saying like, if I translate verbatim, it would mean like, oh, you that houses and rooms are chasing you, like at home, they are chasing you. That's like it's a lot. And then somebody is using house to do you yeah abroad. That what kind of rubbish is that? Anyway, so I had that kind of bad experience, and that day I decided I was like, you know what? I'm gonna buy a house. I don't like I'm gonna buy a house, and I started intentionally saving for that to buy a house. So somewhere as I was saving for it, I continued saving. Along the line I was like, is it even really worth it? Like my anger, after all that anger has come down, I was like, I know I'm saving, I'm saving and the money is there, but buying a house here, is it really worth it? You don't even know whether you're staying here for a very long term, up to, maybe 10 years. You don't even know whether you're staying here. You haven't decided. So is it really like really, really worth it? I know that, you started saving because something happened. You started saving for house, particularly intentionally for house because something happened. But buying a house, is it really worth it? The financial stress and all of that. That money, you can use it and put it into one something like that, just regular investment, and you can easily pull out your money at any time you want and all of that. So I kept on saving, but at a point I just changed my mind that I'm no longer saving. I'm no longer saving for house. I'm just saving. Let me just keep putting that money aside. But I don't know what I would do with it. Probably no longer buying a house. That was what, it changed along the line. And then later on this year, the start of this year, I started thinking again. I was like, towards March, I started thinking, do you think I should still buy a house and all of that? Because I had saved up what I needed to buy at least a small place, like, I started thinking about that. So I was like, oh, the government even has a scheme. They call it lifetime ISA, where in that scheme, each tax year that ends on the 5th of April, so tax year starts, I think, 6th or 7th of April for each year and ends the next year, 5th of April. So that scheme is you put in £4,000 into a particular account, which is a lifetime ISA, and then they give you £1,000 extra. Last year I contemplated, but I said, well, I'm not staying here, so I'm not putting my money there. So this year I was contemplating. I had conversations with a number of people, and they're like, well, you don't even know when you're leaving or if you're staying and things like that. What's the worst that can happen? Shall I just put it? And I said, okay, no wahala. So what I just did was I just took £4,000 from one of my accounts, took £4,000, just put it in the account. And yeah, so I credited £4,000 into that account, and then the government credited me £1,000. Let me show you. I think this is it here. So you can see £5,000 there. So I credited that, and yeah, basically, um, to be honest, let me just, since I don't even know how long I'm staying, abroad. So let me just tweet. What's the worst thing that can happen? What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is that tomorrow maybe I pack my bag. At the other side of it is that maybe I'll stay here till 10 years time or something like that. But who knows? So that's it. So I decided to do that, and in that £4,000 that I put, there's an option to either put it as a cash ISA or a stocks and shares ISA. As an investment babe like myself, I said, I'm not going to put that money as a cash ISA because it will just be there. I decided to put it as a stocks and shares ISA, and yeah. So if the stocks that I've put the money in, if it increases, then fine. Anyway, so I put it in one of the Vanguard, I think Vanguard S&P 500. I think that's it. So, anyways, that's that for the story of how I want to buy a house. And yeah, now moving to the next thing I talked about is coping abroad. That's the next thing I want to talk about. Oh my God. I don't think, at least my circle, let me not speak for everyone, but at least my circle, I don't think we would ever get to a point of where we would fully cope with living abroad, because a lot of things are different, lifestyles and all of that. And we are full blown adults. We were already full blown adults before leaving. Most of my circle were at least 25 before leaving. For myself, I think I was like 27. I can't even remember. But, anyways, we're already like full blown adults before we left Nigeria. So we had formed, we knew everything and all of that. So coping, now moving abroad, it's like what you have always known is now being tossed into a different system, and so you're just managing to survive. You're moving from one corner to the other. A lot of things. I don't know whether I would fully cope with the weather. The weather, I tell everybody, any day, anytime, is cold. During the summer, oh my god, I still on my heater. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. It's still cold. It's still, a lot of things are quite different. It takes me time to really understand people. For example, in the corporate world, it took me time. I was always wondering why people always doing, like, like a fake smile. You see somebody, that kind of something. Like, it's not something that I'm used to. Like, I'm in Nigeria and that kind of something. Yeah, but I guess, difference in culture and things like that. So the next thing I want to talk about is PhD journey before I would move to Erasmus. um yeah, so let me just first of all talk about PhD journey. I think some people are thinking, oh, I'm doing a PhD and all of that, and me said myself, I thought I was going to do a PhD, but anyways, this is how we saw it after I saw Premier Shege in some things. But yeah, I was telling someone, I was being asked if I was going to do a PhD, and I said, depends on how much that PhD is paying me, because I cannot be doing, for example, if I'm doing a PhD in the UK here now, the maximum they would pay is 20 something, and that's if it is in London. But if you're staying in other parts of the UK, it's like 19,000. Why would I be doing PhD and be earning £19,000? I know, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, no, I'm just saying, yeah, like £19,000 per year. It's like me moving from a block house to a thatch house. Is that money will not do me, I'm sorry. That money will not do me, I'm sorry. So I was telling somebody that, oh, if I want to do a PhD, probably I would combine with a job, or I would do a part-time PhD, or an online PhD, or even a PhD from back home, because it's gonna really, the income disparity, you're earning this, then all of a sudden you're earning £19,000 per year, without the premium suffering that comes with PhD and research and all of that. I don't know if I can do it. For now, I'm just saying, sure, for now, if I'm doing a PhD, probably I would be working alongside, or I would be doing an online PhD, or I would be doing a part-time PhD, or I'll be doing a PhD that I'll be doing back home that would allow me, the ease of doing the PhD, or from any other African country. Or I have a source where enough money is coming from. I have source where enough money is coming from. Or I'm probably also doing like a consultancy kind of something that kind of matches the income I'm currently earning, or even above it, something like that. Yeah, that's when, I would really get into PhD, that kind of something, because I'm gonna suffer if they're just paying me £19,000. I'll suffer. I'll suffer. I'm not even hiding my mouth, but I'm gonna suffer if that's what they're paying me per year. I'll suffer. And I probably be calling my father every other day to send me money. And anyways, so that aside, now let me move to the next topic I said I was going to. Yeah. So I've had, it's about, Erasmus scholars and all of that. I've had chat with some Erasmus scholars, and I think the constant question they also keep asking is about coping abroad and all of that. And I keep telling them, to be honest, I don't sure say you go fit fully cope. And that is, for those who don't understand PG, that is, I'm not sure if somebody can fully cope with, living abroad. Like for myself, I've not fully coped. Like, I'm still managing, I'm still surviving. Especially, we left as adults. So if you're like a kid, before you move abroad, like you were just a child, it's easier for you to, kind of cope. But yeah, I tell them it's not, lifestyles are different, a lot of things are different. Food, oh my god, food is different. And as somebody who, I try as much as possible to eat what I know, because I don't want to be running from one bathroom to the other, or from one toilet to the other. So I try as much as possible to eat what I know. So a lot of things are different. Struggling to find an African shop where you can buy things that, to the foodstuffs being unnecessarily expensive. well, I don't want to say unnecessarily expensive because when you compare the availability and they don't grow it here, so they have to import it and things like that. So, well, I don't blame them technically. Yeah, so comparing it to foodstuffs being expensive than, the average foods they eat here, to me wanting to always order food and some of you that also don't know how to cook, so you want to order food and things like that. So cooking can be quite difficult for me, though. I think I've managed to find a place where, like I tell some scholars, I'm trying to find, if you don't know how to cook, find a place where you can buy affordable African meal. For me, as I be cook, but sometimes I don't just want to, so I kind of order food. I've managed to find a place, an affordable place. Well, not technically like affordable, but yeah, I can afford it. Place where I buy on Just Eat, and yeah, it's a Ghanaian restaurant, and yeah, I try to always like buy from them, and well, I would say it's affordable, to be honest, for the quantity and different packs of food that I buy for the kind of amount they sell it. One day, like I was telling somebody, I said I need to call this one, ask them how they make profits because anyway, so that I tell people, trying to cope, that's like finding where you can buy your African foodstuffs, affordable ones based on your income and all of that. If you don't know how to cook, try to find where you can buy affordable, like from the restaurant, what you can afford though, before all your money will finish. But anyways, yeah, in terms of studies, I've seen some people complain they're struggling, and what I found out that sometimes people struggle not just because maybe they don't understand what is being taught, but sometimes the teaching method might differ. Other times, when your social life is not going well, when you're finding it difficult, for example, you don't have friends, the place is so, you're not coping with the environment and all of that, definitely it's going to affect your studies. So I always like, tell people, I'm like, as much as possible, try to sort out your social life and see, and it can help you better, your in terms of your studies, your academic life and all of that. And if you don't know certain things, reach out to your professors, reach out to people ahead of you, ask questions. You don't see whether they want to look you like mumu. Don't send anybody, don't send their papa. Ask questions. The worst that can happen is that they'll tell you they're not answering you. That's the worst that can happen. But no send anybody, papa. Ask questions. Go on YouTube, Google the topic, try to respond to them, and try to understand in a way, um, try to understand it in your own way and all of that. Ask questions, read, Google. Yeah, YouTube also, yeah. So I think some other concerns that I've seen a lot of Erasmus scholars have when they come to me is things around doing a PhD and going to the industry. Well, what I always advise, out of my friends, I think there are just two or three that are doing PhD. The rest of us, we dey go find money. So I tell them, like, it depends on the field that you are in. um it really depends. Some industry, they don't send your PhD. You have a PhD, fine, but if you don't have that industry experience, you're still going to start from square one, even after your PhD. So except maybe you're doing it for self gratification, or you're doing it for self actualization. I don't know whether that's the language or the word. That kind of something, yeah, then you can go ahead, but it really just depends. I know my friend was saying, oh, I think she was in food sciences and all of that, and she was like, yeah, she needs to do a PhD. A lot of the jobs she's seeing, especially with international organizations that are requesting, like, they're saying, oh, you have a PhD and yada yada yada. I was like, okay, then that's fine. So except you're really in that industry that PhD is respected, I don't think PhD is really like necessary. And then, except you're using your PhD as plan B, in case you don't get work, you go for PhD. Well, I try to do that too. Anyways, but yeah. But I don't really think, it just depends. Your PhD or industry, it really just depends. So you can choose either, but make sure that you're not just wasting 3 to 5 years of your life doing a PhD that after doing, you now start from square one where your mates has been, and then they are now away ahead of you. Yeah, that's the language. They're now ahead of you, like that time you'd have used it to climb the ladder and all of that. But yeah, it just depends. Now the last thing I want to say is At this point, your girl is passportless. Hopefully, I don't become stateless. But yeah, I don't. I'm trying to sort out my passport issue. My NI number is giving me issues. Oh my god. They're asking me to verify my NI number. I've tried to do verification. It seems like it's not working. Like it's just giving me problems. So as it stands now, I'm passportless. Hopefully not stateless. So I need my passport as soon as possible. And um, yeah, hopefully that gets sorted out quite soon. I'm just looking at that. Let me verify my NI number and all of that first. Then we can continue. But anyways, that's just that. That's just the life update so far. If you have any question, you can always drop your question and I can respond. Yeah, for now, that is just that. That's just where I've been. But yeah, so if you have any question, you can always let me know. I will try to read the comments and respond. Yeah. So that's just that from my side. No question or no other thing to say. I think I'm just gonna end this live stream here. Other people, when you come online, if you have any question, you can always drop it and I would respond. But for now, I'll see you in my next video and in my next live stream. Bye. Oh, wait, I just got a comment. Before I leave, let me try to, okay, let me respond to this. Which investment platform would you recommend? It depends on where you are. I'm in the UK, so what I use is Vanguard UK. That's the investment platform that I use, Vanguard UK. So I think this is what it looks like. I mean, let me show that. Let me show that. Yeah, so if you open, this is Vanguard UK. This is what it looks like. So yeah, you can just type Vanguard UK and you would see it. So typically, I think the only thing that I needed to apply for that they required was the national insurance number here. The UK, yeah, I think it's also called national insurance. Yeah, NI number. Yeah, I think yeah, that's what it's called, national insurance number. That was the only thing they required. So this is it. Um, yeah, if you click on like open an account, yeah, you'd have the different options and things they'll just bring out for you. Yeah, so they said, are you new to this? What you might need like your national insurance number, your debit card details, your bank details for regular payments and all of that. Yeah, so that's the platform I use. I think other people use, I think there's also something called Nutmeg. Yeah, I think I have Nutmeg account, but I don't use it. Yeah, this is Nutmeg. It's owned by JP Morgan's and Chase, which is the bank where you bank with. Yeah, whatever it's called. Yeah, because I also use like Chase account. So JP Morgan, I think this is like their investment arm. The Nutmeg is like their investment something like that. Yeah. So people also use that. I think people. I don't know if if people use Moneybox for regular investment or just eyesight. I can't really tell. But then I also know that Trading 212 has an ISA account if you're in the UK. Yeah, let me open this. I think, yeah, because I've seen that. I've seen that before. You all stop asking me for identity verification. I don't know that I don't have passport. I'm passportless. So I'm trying to, yeah. So if you look here, you would see a Trading 212 ISA account. This one here. So it's Trading 212 ISA. I'm just, yeah. So that account is also ISA. It helps you to invest up to, I think, £20,000 per year, and the investment is not taxed. The return is also not taxed, and all of that. But yeah, you can try that. Um, no worries then. I will go now, and hopefully I see you in the next live stream, or probably a video this time around, a full video, but let's see how it goes. And yeah, until I see you guys, bye.